Kitty goes meow. Oh, hey.
Oh, we're
Friday,
live.
baby. It's Friday.
It is.
We made it through.
It is Party Boy Friday, Tom.
I get to take this godforsaken thing off after this stream.
And then have it dry cleaned and then burned.
Yeah, 100%. I want it to be clean before I throw it into the fire pit.
Yes.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition, a Friday edition of the Grossi Perna Show, otherwise known as GPS.
The
Tom
S
Brady.
stands for sex.
Yeah.
E.
Oh.
Sexy.
Oh, okay. As I said, this is the fan fiction's there's gonna be a whole subreddit now.
Yes, please. If somebody writes a piece of fan fiction for Tom and I, we will read it on the show.
No. What have you done? If there's art included with it.
It's got to be good, though. It's got to be good.
That's Brandon Perna, by the way. I feel like we just opened a door that we're not going to be able to close now.
Then, if this show gets super popular, we'll have people write the fan fiction, and then we'll hire an animator to animate the fan fiction for us, and it will be like the intermission, because the show will go to 3 hours.
Just to compete directly with McAfee. Just feel like as long as they're on, we'll be on. What are we going to talk about? That's oh boy. Okay. this is going to be a thing, folks. We made it here again. I lost count of how many episodes we've done at this point, but
this is 12, episode 12.
Oh my God. I mean, whoa! I knew that, and that's why, baby. That's it, baby.
Good things are going to happen for this show.
That's it. Listen, Brandon Perna looking like he's coming right out of Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and I'm absolutely loving the vibes. It's more like Skinamax.
But the best thing about this shirt, Tom, you can't button it up any higher.
You know what? Honestly,
as high as this shirt buttons, yes, I got a little buzzed one night. Instagram knows exactly what I like when I'm drunk, and I purchased this shirt as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, honestly, that's a fantastic purchase. You might think the best purchase ever was the car seat to bring home your infant daughter, but no, it was that shirt. It was that shirt. Because
it's so gonna get me laid one day with my wife.
One of these days.
One of these days, you're gonna be like,
that is a sexy shirt. I bet that it is gonna do very well for you.
You know what else could do well for you? DraftKings Sportsbook.
I did the bet thing. I thought that was I bet that it was gonna. We're
bet on working. It doing well for you. We are sponsored by DraftKings. What are we saying? Use code GPS if you're going to get in on some of that DraftKings action. We got a link in the description. Yeah. DraftKings is giving all new customers first-time deposit bonuses of up to $1,000. So they're going to match what you put in there. That's going to give you some free money to bet with. Last night, we had a Bengals-Jags game. And Kitty went meow. Not an official bet through DraftKings Sportsbook, but maybe one day you could bet on whether or not the kitty goes meow. I think that'll just be like the Bengals money line. Let's get 10,000 likes on this video, and DraftKings will change the Bengals money line to kitty goes meow. How about it, DraftKings? What say you?
Oh God, if they do that, yes. I'll throw my own money at that. Just even if for that's it. And listen, we get the donos that are fitty for the kitty. So it's just that's
kitty.
That's it. That's just you throw the money right there, and you're just done.
DraftKings you guys can't just make up bets that we can do. There's a whole legal thing we got to go through.
No, there's not.
Just shut up, both of you, please.
No, there's.
But if you don't want us to shut up, code GPS over at DraftKings They're taking care of us. And if you're going to do it through DraftKings.
The premier code. Yeah, Alexander asking already thoughts on Lawrence so far. We'll get into that. Don't worry. We're going to break down this whole Thursday night game, which turned out to be a good game. And I just want to say, there's been a lot of premonitions on this show, a lot of Nostradamusing on this show. Whether it's Brandon Perna saying, oh, man, I'm going to curse all these teams with my power rankings, and then they're going to fall into the abyss. There's that. We predicted that this was going to be a good game last night, which it was. It was
a good game.
And that's it, folks. We're predicting all this stuff. But Trevor Lawrence last night looked pretty damn solid.
He did look good. And we're going to recap this game. We're going to talk about Tom Brady going back to the Patriots. We've got a couple preview games we're going to feature. I got my eye on that Chargers-Raiders game. I'm going to tell you why I think the Raiders are going to lose. But Trevor Lawrence made 2 throws that will drop panties, that will raise trousers,
suspenders,
that will get you excited about Trevor Lawrence as a football player. Here's my issue with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Trevor Lawrence will grow through this season. He's going to make some of those plays.
Taller?
Yeah, he's going to be like 7 foot tall.
Wow.
But Urban Meyer, everybody likes to make fun of him. And that happens when a college coach jumps to the NFL. They're out of their element, Donnie, a lot. Yeah. And the key play for the Jags, where they lost this game, they're on the goal line before halftime.
Yup.
And they have James Robinson, who had 100 rushing yards in the first half. The Bengals had no answer for him. 4th and goal on the goal line. They run a QB run. Not like a QB sneak, like a run. Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence gets smashed in the face, 1. Yes. And 2, the Bengals get a big stop, which I think changed the momentum.
Oh, yeah.
We're in this game. You go into halftime down 21-0. I'm 99% sure, and the Jags could have proved me wrong, that the Jags win that game.
Yeah.
But it was just a horrible call. Why would you not give it to James Robinson in that situation? I don't know.
Or kick the field goal, because they were doing a bunch of design runs for Lawrence where because I was noting that on the stream that they were faking it to Robinson. And I'm assuming there was the option there, whether to give it to him or whether to keep it. And Trevor Lawrence was picking up yards on the ground. So I understand the mentality. By the way, it didn't even look like it was a good play on the goal line. But at that point, you're right, either give it to Robinson or do a bootleg in which he's going to run to the outside, or kick, you're up 14-0, go up 17-0. The Bengals literally after that drive on the 1, just QB snuck it and then got delay of games because they were like, we don't want to risk it. They did not believe that offense at all. And then what happens at a halftime? They come out swinging and they tie the game, after a few drives.
Yeah. Joe Burrow comes out hotter than ever.
Oh, yeah.
Just torched him.
Because Kitty goes now.
Yeah, I think in that situation too, you're right. You have James Robinson as a threat. You at least play action, bootleg with the passing option. So then you've got the option to run with Lawrence still, because he was picking up yards.
Send Arnold out there. He was getting some looks.
He looks like a majestic horse galloping out there. And give him one passing option so he has something other than getting smashed in the freaking face at the goal line.
I think, again, if you're up 17-0, because listen, the Bengals had nothing in that first half. They had nothing. And then you start to see a little bit of a momentum shift there. So
a couple connections there's one big connection with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Jamar Chase, by the way, ruined so many parlays, because for him to just get into the end zone. But Jamar Chase, I started him in all my leagues that I had him because I was like, this guy's crushing it. AJ Brown might not play. The one time he doesn't get a touchdown, he has a touchdown in every single fracking game. And the one time I'm like, I'm going to intentionally start you. And he's like, no, I'm good, bro. Thanks, though.
No, thanks.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So I saw this tweet yesterday, and when you just see a tweet and you're like, dang, that is good.
Yeah.
It makes you jealous that you didn't think of it first.
Yeah.
And it's I retweeted this early, and I'm gonna take credit for helping blow this up. But it is Trevor Lawrence and his parents From Andy Hagman.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching The Sopranos, and that is just such an on-point reference. It's such like a nuanced like storyline. Like I'm in the season where Carmela Soprano and Fiore are having their little romantic thing.
Spoilers.
So like I saw that, and for a moment in time in my life, I'm like, this shit bangs.
You're like, I get this. I understood that reference.
Yeah, and it's blowing up. I'm just happy when people put together great things. Like that's what I love about Twitter is you find just two things you love: television and football, and then somebody mashes them, and it creates something beautiful. So anyway, I just wanted to shout that out today because it was awesome.
I also wanted to explain, just because in case anyone doesn't understand the origins of Kitty Goes Meow, because Kitty Goes Meow is a way of life, honestly. So just to kind of do this like recap. So as people may know or not know, I do fan reactions for all 32 teams after the season is over. It is arduous, to say the very least. And I did one with the Cincinnati Bengals. And in that, I drew a wonderful picture. This is to scale of this kitty, right? Pretending that I was a child and said, Kitty Goes Meow. Well, I was just doing this like I can't draw. Like this is the extent of my artistic abilities here. Okay. And I would say the phrase Kitty Goes Meow. Just like, right off the cuff. I did not realize how incredibly popular that would become, in which people then asked for emotes, but it went even further. Two of my fans, Altia and Nicole, actually asked me to send them this picture, like a high-res copy of this picture, which is this is as high-res as it got. And they made an actual plush of the exact one. The tail is literally like it's all messed up, just like this one.
That's
and
hilarious.
It's a legit replica. And so last night, which I wasn't even going to stream the game, which by the way, every single Thursday game that I have streamed has been a banger. Just saying. But we did that, and it wasn't looking too good. It wasn't looking too good until put KGM, Kitty Goes Meow, on their altar of their own picture. And then the Bengals won. So I'm just going to say, did I allow the Bengals to win and the reason for their success? I mean, we could just look at the before and after of Kitty Goes Meow. So I'm just going to put that out there into the world, and they're 3-1. So,
wow. And I think we hyped up the Bengals Wednesday on this show.
Oh, yeah.
I know I did.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a little disappointed because on Clickbait yesterday, I wanted to talk about their defensive line. And then if I'm being like completely honest, I forgot all the names of the guys I wanted to talk about and just kind of backpedaled there. Defensive line did not show up. DJ Reader, that was a signing I loved for the Bengals. Starting to play all right over there. Larry Ogunjobi was a game wrecker last night. But here's the guy who flew under the radar for the Bengals that I think people are going to be paying attention to now, and that is tight end CJ Uzomah. Dude had 2 touchdowns, probably also wrecked a lot of same-game parlays.
Oh, yeah.
And made a couple people probably very rich. A 2-touchdown performance by CJ Uzomah.
Oh, yeah.
But I picked him up in fantasy for sure after that, which guarantees he won't score any more touchdowns this season.
Yeah.
But Bengals, they're starting to feel like a good team. It's starting to feel like Joe Burrow is feeling comfortable with that knee.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time after you tear it all up. But I wanted to pose a question to you because we made fun of ESPN.
That's what it is.
And I almost titled the video this. Almost, but I did not. Is Joe Burrow already the greatest Joe to play in the NFL?
Oh.
I tweeted that last night, and I said tomorrow on ESPN. And the tweet did well, but there's always a handful of people. It doesn't matter how clear you think the joke is. There are people who are like, I think Joe Montana might have something to say about that.
No. Who?
Joe Namath? Joe Namath, guys? It was a joke. We were making fun of ESPN headline, but I think Joe's going to be a very good quarterback. I think he looked like that before he got hurt last year.
He did look really good. His poise in the pocket is what stood out to me last year when he was playing, because it was that Cleveland Browns game that like he was like constantly under pressure and he's like, nah, we're cool. Like we're a cool, calm, and collective. Yeah, I mean, the Bengals, because everyone was bashing the Bengals in the first half because their offense looked stagnant. They couldn't get anything going. They missed the field goal. You know, it's not good. The defense, which I've always said has been like one of the weaker parts of that team, and they've looked good over the past few weeks. I was like, all right, I'm going to watch for that tonight because it's the actual Bengals game that I sat down to watch. And they did not look good in the first half, you know, and they were real, like Robinson was doing well. Lawrence on those design run plays, like was doing well. And there was like some crazy throws by Lawrence and like some crazy catches. Chenault on like that one grab where he's like turning around and sideways and grabbing that. But I think that, you know, while the Jaguars are definitely not good competition, and I wouldn't say that the Bengals are like one of the best teams in the NFL, I think that they, as the Steelers show, like they'll put up a fight and they'll punch you in the mouth. So, you know, the Packers are playing them a week from Sunday, and I'm not thinking it's going to be a walk in the park, unfortunately.
Yeah, if something costs the Bengals their season, it's going to be their secondary, because basically they just take corners other teams don't want anymore and sign them. So like the Steelers, Mike Hilton, Trey Waynes from Minnesota, Eli Apple, and Jesse Bates was hurt. Once he gets back in there, they'll be a little bit better. But it's like their secondary, they need to start like drafting some corners and building that out with young talent, as opposed to taking guys who were bad on otherwise like decent teams ish. So I think that'll be their the thing that costs them. But
But
anyway,
it's a long season. So again, don't be sleeping on the Bengals. I'm not saying they're going to win their division, but like, you know, I think that they're going to be better than a lot of people anticipated.
Yeah.
And once they start investing into that defense, I think they're going to be even better because they have the pieces on offense. They have Mixon, right? They have Higgins, who wasn't in, but you have Jamar Chase, obviously Joe Burrow. Invest a little bit more in that O-line, just a little bit more, and then, you know, start looking to the defensive side of the ball. And then, I think that
O-line in their secondary, and they can be I think a legit threat. And it was noted after the game, Burrow audibled to the final throw to CJ Uzomah to get Cincinnati into field goal range to win the game. So Burrow out there making, you know, grown man decisions, as some scooters may say. But Burrow, he got him into field goal range. This was weird because while I was watching this, they were playing for the field goal, which I don't like.
Yes.
Obviously, it worked out. And the reason you do that is to eat up the clock so that the opposing team doesn't have a chance to drive down and get into field goal range and tie it up.
49ers.
Yeah. Any team with a veteran quarterback, like I wouldn't worry about that with Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, but they complete that big play to CJ. And there was almost like a minute 50 on the clock, and they didn't go up and clock it, which I thought they should have done. They had 2 timeouts. They didn't use one of those timeouts. And then they got a little bit closer and then kicked the field goal. It worked out like it's the right call. But game management wise, I feel like you at least play for the touchdown while also being aware of trying to eat up clock. Maybe you're a little fearful with the young QB in that situation. You're just trying not to throw a turnover. A lot of bad things can happen. But your field goal kicker also missed an easy field goal earlier in that game. So it was something I was watching to see how it played out. And since it worked out for the Bengals, nobody's talking about it. But that was something I feel like would have been criticized had they missed, or, you know.
I feel like that's when you do the run pass like kind of mentality, right? It's like, all right, kill as much clock as humanly possible. Maybe you throw it on second down if you pick up like decent yardage, and then like it goes to third down. I mean, because you look at the Jaguars, like they blew their timeouts pretty early. So
I think each team burned a dumb timeout early in that second half. Legendary stream.
Oh yeah, it was a time last night. We had a time, but yeah, I think that, like you said, like as Burrow keeps on moving forward, like he's just going to get better. I think it's the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. I feel like Trevor Lawrence, like I said, looked real good last night. If he's on a better team, you know, that's I think he has a little bit more success, but the Jaguars, it's going to be a long rebuild. It's going to be a long rebuild.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So.
That's enough of Jaguars Bengals talk. I bet we spent more time talking about Jags Bengals than anybody on earth today outside of their
1,000,000%.
markets.
ESPN was just like, yeah, Bengals won. Moving on to Tom Brady and Bill.
They're like, is Michael Jordan better than Tom Brady?
That's at basketball.
Is LeBron James like Peyton Manning? That's all.
That's all. That's the whole show.
We do have Tom Brady going back to New England.
Cue the Adele.
Should have been a dance song here, but we don't have the money for that yet.
Licensing is so expensive.
They should really make music more available for YouTubers to use.
I wish. I mean, like, we have the audio library, but like
you should have the option to play like famous songs, and it just changes the percentage of what you're able to monetize that video for.
I agree.
So like, I think creators would use those songs selectively. And
I mean, look at TikTok. Like, you look at TikTok, how many songs have blown up because of TikTok? I'm just saying there is a wealth here. But
yeah, like I did one of the shorts for the first time when the shorts came out.
Yeah.
And they're like, add music to it. I was like, oh, cool. So I put in like the song. The short was stupid. Like, don't even try to find it. But it posted, and then it's like, this video can't be monetized because the music right. I'm like,
what you told me.
What the hell? Why would you even give me that as an option then?
Yeah,
I don't even think any of those videos make money, but Tom Brady made a lot of money in New England.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Are you excited about this game, I guess?
Dude, I gotta say, like, I'm not as excited about it because, like, the Patriots kind of suck. Like, that's what's, like, not allowing me to get fully excited for this game. Like, I understand, like, the gravitas of it. I understand, like, it's a big moment in football. Like, I get all that. But, like, it's not... like, the Patriots are not... I think Bill Belichick is going to send everything he can after Brady. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like that what's not getting me there is the fact that the Patriots are not great team right now. Like, they're not good.
Yeah, it's, they have a rookie quarterback who's okay, and he's going to play a Bucs secondary that's got holes in it, but if anything is going to wreck this game, it's the Buccaneers pass rush against a rookie QB.
Yeah.
Part of me, though, thinks like Bill Belichick, even, like, I don't know, like after the third Super Bowl him and Tom won, like he started to formulate an idea how he would beat Tom Brady if you were coaching against him. He's like, yeah, if I was coaching against Tom Brady, I'd just go ahead and do this. Just secondary is Tom's weak. Like, if anybody knows Tom's weaknesses, it's Belichick.
Yeah.
But Tom also knows that Bill knows what his weaknesses are. Like, it would be so fun if both teams were good in terms of like a chess match game. Yeah. We're playing 400D chess.
Yes.
Tom Brady got a little cold or something this week. Little sickness to
trying to make it the flu game.
Yeah. Gronk's banged up. He's got bruised ribs or broken ribs or something. That's been Gronk his whole career until recently. He always had a back or rib injury. Accurate. And you thought he would miss time, and then he just plays through all of it and is still just as hard to tackle.
Yeah, my man's like, he's just like, I don't need to walk. It's fine.
No, I'm Gronk.
I feel like he's a baby. And, like, like they bounce. Like, and it's just like, hey, like, don't try this at home, folks. But it's like, like a kid falls and you're like, oh my God, like that kid's going to be like injured. They're like, I'm fine. Like, I will tell you, like, what are those things called? Those things where you put the baby in it and like it's the circle thing and it has wheels and you bounce in it and like you can travel along the house. What the hell's that called? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I mean, we've used one at our house. I don't know what they're called though.
Yeah. Anyway, so my dad left. Yeah, the thing. Then my dad left the gate open one time when I was a baby, and I went tumbling down the stairs head first, and like, and it was just silence. And they're like, "Oh my God, I just like killed my baby." And then I'm just like, "Wah," but I was fine. Like, I was fine right after that, and obviously there wasn't like that much damage. So I mean, just colors taste weird sometimes, but other than that, it's pretty solid. So what I'm saying is that's Gronkowski.
That is Gronk. No.
Gronk.
And the great thing about like this game happening this week is all the dirty laundry that people have had that they've wanted to air about Tom and Bill's relationship. It's coming out slowly. Tom Brady's dad's throwing some logs onto the fire that Brady was unhappy with Bill because Bill's an asshole. To which Robert Kraft, this is the quote of the week. Robert Kraft saying, "I've got to fly to Detroit to be with the biggest asshole in my life, my head coach." And Tom Brady's
my dad's in the chat saying it's a walker. So yeah.
Oh yeah, a walker. Okay, thank you.
Walker, thank you. As I fell down the stairs, but
thank you. Tom can walk fine now.
I could walk totally fine now. I could totally walk totally fine. So yeah,
I mean, if
it's kind of funny,
Kraft really felt that way, why didn't they move on from Belichick instead of Brady?
We know that answer. We know that answer though. I mean, they did want to bring back Brady though. Like they did give him an offer, and Brady said no, thank you. So like there is that element as well. Like Bill Belichick, I feel like Kraft is never going to force him out because he's successful, unless like Bill Belichick, like in the next 5 years, like doesn't have a winning season. I feel like Bill Belichick stays there. 1 and 2, he's earned so much credibility and so many championships. I feel like there's no high horse that Kraft can take to be like, no, you need to leave. And
I could have traded him. Remember when John Gruden got traded to the Buccaneers?
That is very true. That's very true. But yeah, I think I also saw that stat too. The only team that Brady hasn't beaten is the Patriots, and he wants it bad. It's like with Favre, like the only team he didn't beat were the Packers, and that man came to play. He had like that first year had like some of his best games against the Packers. Sucked the last year, but I mean, yeah, you could think that Bill Belichick is like, this rough, tough, like not nice person, but look how many championships he's gotten you. So I'll take a not nice person to get me, 6 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, we'll see how the development of Mac Jones goes. It's obviously very, very premature to look at that situation. Yeah. But if like the Patriots don't find a very good quarterback, Bill Belichick won't win another Super Bowl with them. You know what I mean? You got to have that stability. Yeah. And I will give Bill Belichick as much credit as you can, because I thought he was more important to their success than Tom Brady, because he made Tom Brady. But then once you've got the quarterback, once you've built the quarterback, then the quarterback becomes the more important piece. You know what I mean? 99 over Tucker, about to hit 68. What?
It's a 99 overall Tucker. So like,
okay. Yeah.
Is he gonna do a 68er at a Mile High?
No.
I want him to just do it like first down from their own 25-yard line. I want them to just line up for field goal.
Just kick it.
Just see, let's just see how far this sucker could go. Let's just see. Yeah.
We're going to get to Broncos Ravens a little bit, but
yeah, we are. Someone says Belichick is 47 wins away from Don Shula's win record. He's staying until he breaks that record. Can you imagine he's there for like 20 years and they just can't win games? Or they're winning like 2 games a year. They're just like, I'm staying until I can't walk.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of stuff about Bill O'Brien almost took over for Bill Belichick, and that Bill O'Brien was trying to get fired by the Texans. That's why he traded DeAndre Hopkins. If Bill O'Brien was actually had a shot to become the Patriots coach, you don't have to try to get fired. All you have to do is quit.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you don't have to, guys. It's okay. He wanted that severance. He wanted that sweet NFL severance pay.
Bill O'Brien was an idiot. That's why he traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals.
Great GM.
Don't let Bill O'Brien use this to clear his name.
No. Quinn, that's a good question. Like, who do you think is more important to a franchise long-term success, QB or good coaches?
It's both.
It is. Both. If we had to pick one,
I mean, I think it's easier to find a coach that can succeed with a good quarterback than it is to find a great quarterback.
So yeah, I think honestly it's QB, but if it's going to be long term, that is going to be dependent on like the front office staff, because I'll give you a few examples. You look at Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers, phenomenal QB, never really had a great defense after the Super Bowl run, except for like 2014. And then, in previous years, that's a big one. And McCarthy literally was just like, go out and call plays. And he's like, no. So there was that. And then look, Andrew Luck. I mean, like Andrew Luck, phenomenal quarterback, but the front office didn't give him an offensive line and he died back there. So I think Perna's has a great point that you could have a mediocre coach look significantly better when you have a really good guy behind center.
Yeah, and it's hard to find guys who are as good as Aaron Rodgers, obviously. Like, they're transcendent talent, okay? Peyton Manning's, the Aaron Rodgers, that's all I can think of right now. But, like, if you think about another coach, I'll use as an example, there's Mike Shanahan, who came to Denver, where John Elway already considered, like, great.
Yeah.
Couldn't win a Super Bowl because the Broncos, like the Packers, never had the complete team. Shanahan installs this rushing attack that's unstoppable.
Yep.
Finds Terrell Davis, just a diamond in the rough, and they win 2 Super Bowls.
Thanks.
Elway leaves. They struggle with Brian Griese, but then they go out and get a quarterback Shanahan likes in Jake Plummer, and they got back to the AFC Championship game. They lost to the Steelers, but they beat Tom Brady and the Patriots in that postseason run. So, like, Shanahan needed another good quarterback, and then he got fired because another issue is when you give really good head coaches too much control. And Shanahan was coach GM. He had final say on everything. And Shanahan, the GM, not as good as Shanahan, the coach. And the Broncos had to move on from that. And that might be a real issue with Bill Belichick moving forward now that he doesn't have Tom Brady to make up for bad GM decisions.
Sure.
So, and like the Patriots, they made plenty of bad draft picks through the years with Belichick, questionable free agency, moves.
Yep.
They also they brought in friggin' Darrelle Revis when nobody else would pay him, and they win a Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl or whatever. I forget exactly. But
Randy Moss.
Yeah, they had Randy Moss, lost the Super Bowl with him. But like, I think what might really hurt Bill outside of the quarterback thing is just too much control, too much power. And, maybe he might not be the best guy to make all those decisions moving forward. So anyway.
But yeah, we're going to hear about this nonstop. Like, and the NFL is leaning into this.
Oh my God.
Because the ratings are going to be insane. I'll be I'm streaming that game. Like, that's going to be a fun game to just because even if the game is crap, there's so much story to go around with it. You don't really have a ton of those games. Like, you usually look at these are cool matchups, or this is a good offense versus a good defense. Here, there's just so much context that's here that you don't really see that very often. And I mean, this could be the last time that this occurs, in which you're going to have Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady.
It's a true revenge game.
Yes.
Like, we like to joke around about those because players change teams so often. So every week, every game's a revenge game. I don't know if I don't think Derek Wolf's going to play for the Ravens this week, but would have been a Derek Wolf revenge game for him going against the Broncos.
Where's the press on that one?
Yeah, exactly. But this is a real revenge game. And I still feel like one of my best videos was when Peyton Manning went into Indianapolis in his return and the Colts beat him. And I got real drunk and recapped that video while I was drunk. That's the video that got me blocked by Pat McAfee and then unblocked eventually because I called Pat Brett in that video, which I thought was funny at the time. So I brought that, I referenced it, and I was like, well, Peyton Manning just didn't want to break the hearts of all his supporters, so he let the Colts win. So that was a real revenge game. But this is it: a quarterback returning to his old team that's not a journeyman like Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's played for every team or whatever, his long-term starter. Hopefully that'll be Aaron Rodgers next year with the Broncos, but who knows?
Hold on. Now I need to hold on. What's your 2022 schedule looking like?
Ooh, they don't have them yet.
No, they do, because they have ones that are definitely locked in for ones that they're definitely going to play.
All right.
You're doing an AFC North and an AFC East. Okay.
Damn.
Right.
Damn, dog.
You're good. Because I was gonna say, like, if Rodgers wound up going there, I'd be like, okay. I just wanted to make sure. All right. But speaking of their prep McAfee, which is fantastic. By the way, Bido asked a good question. Would either or both coaches have more Super Bowls if they just stuck to coaching? I think the problem is like we're looking at it in hindsight. Like, I feel like at the time you're just like, wow, this coach is doing really well. We're going to give them more power. Like, we're going to give them more control.
Here's what's crazy. Like, I think we talked about this. I don't remember if it was on the show, but it's like the draft. You mentioned this. Like, draft picks are a guess. You're talking about, like, Mark Murphy told you that. Like, when you do all this work, but end of the day, you're making a guess. So Mike Shanahan, it's a good example. Like, we thought he had too much, control in Denver. He goes to Washington.
Yeah.
They trade the farm to get RG3, which Shanahan did not want to do. And in defiance, basically took Kirk Cousins in that same draft after RG3. So the Washington drafted 2 QBs. Shanahan had his guy in Cousins, and turns out he was probably right about Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins, better quarterback than RG3. Kirk Cousins right now is playing near perfect football.
He's playing good
for
football.
Minnesota. Yeah. But they also don't have a winning record right now, right? They've lost. They're 1-2.
Oh, the Vikings? Yeah.
Yeah. So even when you find the quarterback, maybe you had the coach. Washington did everything wrong, and they don't have either of those guys. They lost their head coach. They lost their quarterback. They are screwed.
That's the NFL's what if. Like, that's their Marvel series. Like, if RG3 doesn't get played in that playoff game and completely screw up his leg forever,
right?
It does become a better quarterback. But I think, like, that's why it's so rare to have like a Belichick and Brady. Like, I know that is now the benchmark. It really is. But Belichick's a great coach. He's a great coach, and Tom Brady is a great QB. We can argue about best of all time, but that's been done by a million shows all the time. What I'm saying is, like, you have sometimes like that perfect kind of relationship in which both of them are like, hey, like, let's go and elevate the team and win a crap ton of games.
And their relationship was probably very good for most of the time. It's when the quarterback gets so good and has all the success on his resume, where the quarterback thinks he knows more than the coach and or GM, and probably does, which you probably know a little something about, Tom.
Ryan Grant has that great line when they hired Matt LaFleur, and oh god, they were never going to get along, which, by the way, they get along incredibly well, and they're hugging and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, Ryan Grant, former Packers running back and also a friend of the show, basically had this quote while that happened and said, like, McCarthy gave Rodgers the keys, like, to the team, and then was surprised when he just was driving with the car. And it's like one of those things that, like, Rodgers, like, that whole, like, pretend his helmet didn't work, like, so he could just, like, call the play.
Right.
Like, that you get those power imbalances. Either a coach is so good and they're like, oh man, or like a QB gets so good that they get the most of the power. I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong because this is just outside looking in, with the Patriots, there was kind of that mutual, like, hey, Belichick's really good, Brady's really good. They need each other. We're good.
Yeah, it was, I think their competitiveness is what kept that going, because I think they both just would do anything to win, which, like, you got to have that mentality. But if you got both of those guys on the same page, you'll put up with all the BS because you're going to win.
Exactly.
A place you're not guaranteed to win, but if you want to try, DraftKings Sportsbook code GPS. Use it, because that's how DraftKings knows whether or not we're helping their company grow. And if
after
we're
my ad
their
reading
company grow, it helps us grow. Link in the description. DraftKings is giving you up to $1,000 to match your first deposit bonus. So put in some money. DraftKings will match it when you use our code. I was going to build a parlay today, but Tom and I kind of got a little chatty. So maybe next week I'll try to have
Tom was running his mouth again.
No, I mean, I was chatty too. I'll try to have you guys help me build like a ridiculous parlay, like a low amount bet,
That'd
But
be
we'll
fun.
put like 10 in there, and if you win, you get a big payout.
I like that. Yes, that should be a thing. That should
Yeah,
definitely
like
be a thing. Did we just come up with a new segment for this show? And by we, I
yeah,
mean
you
you.
can just stack as many as you want. It's like
So like
Chiefs
you could
first
have
to
like a
score.
16 thing spot. Like you could just like, how many? Is there a limit? Like, can I do like a 42 like thing parlay?
Oh, I don't know.
And just be like, listen, Joe Burrow has to get over 200 yards. Aaron Rodgers has to
Yeah.
get sacked once. And just be crazy.
Yeah, you get in there and like, wow, I could really come up with a complicated thing.
And make $1 million.
Do like
off
$10
a $1 bet.
$10 bet, and yeah, it'll pay out
Make
like
$1
because you can just watch
million.
the odds of it get like worse and worse and worse. It's like plus 500, plus 1,200,
Okay.
plus 1,800, plus 25,000. So, I have fun messing with those. I've got there's this parlay of 6 different things this week. I don't even remember, but a lot of offenses have to do a lot of points. That's all I'm going to say. DraftKings Sportsbook, promo code GPS. Our link is below.
Nailed it.
Safe, secure, reliable. It's a good sportsbook. That's all I'm going to say.
Nailed
Promo done.
Finn. Now, here's the thing. In talking about the other games, in talking about the other games here, I don't know, we just went with an accent and then I dropped it midway through.
You got other football coming up.
Yeah, we got other football besides Tom Brady and Bill Belichick here. Both of us having intriguing games. Talk about the Denver Broncos here. A lot of chitter chatter about the Broncos, and I will say, even I said, listen, you beat the Ravens, buddy. You beat the Ravens, and I will put the Broncos in the Grossi top 10.
About damn time.
I will do it. Because there's all this chitter chatter of all the teams you played, they haven't won a single game, which is, statistically true. But in terms of their defense, they're the best defense in the league when it comes to points per game. They are. I looked it up yesterday because we were looking at the worst defenses, looking at you guys like Seattle. But we're looking at that. And I will give them the credit if they are able to defeat the Baltimore Ravens. They will be in the top 10, which is really all you want to do. Some people want Super Bowls, but a lot of teams just want to be in the top 10 of Tom Grossi, the guy who sits in his basement. So,
yeah, it's a big game for the Broncos. Von Miller this week said he told the guys to treat this like a playoff game because that's how important this game is. And it's not just like a win, because a win's always important in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's, I think, like a momentum win, because the Broncos here, they know everybody's calling them pretenders, that they haven't beaten anybody, that they're fake. They're a fake 3-0 team, like everybody said about the Steelers last year at a 9-0, 10-0, 11-0.
Yep.
That turned out to be true. The difference is the Broncos are getting good quarterback play. Another difference, Jacksonville, the Jets, the Giants have all right defenses despite everything else going wrong. So, yes, overall bad teams, but I think offense to defense, the Broncos have faced some competition. But here's the real thing to watch.
Here's the thing.
The Ravens injury report this week.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot on there.
Yeah.
One guy sticks out. Quarterback Lamar Jackson.
Could be a slight problem.
Back injury. I think, didn't he hurt his back doing the flip into the end zone?
That was his hip, I think. Yeah, he hurt his hip/back. So good job, buddy.
So I think he'll practice today. But if he doesn't, I want Lamar Jackson to play. The Broncos can't get this win without Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah. Kill that narrative.
We got to crush that narrative, build on that momentum.
Trace McSorley, though.
But maybe the Broncos get a banged up Lamar Jackson and they win. And the Broncos will still get the credit, even though in my mind, I'll be like, okay, well, we beat an injured Lamar Jackson. How are we going to do next week? Anyway.
Still counts.
Denver's injuries to look at, both their starting guards, very good chance neither will play. Maybe one. Graham Glasgow, Dalton Reisner. I think Reisner's more probable to play, but that could be an issue. So those are the things I'm looking for, the things I'm watching. Oh, that's a good question, because I think the Jags will win at some point.
Yeah, I think they will win too. I don't think they go 0-17. I think they pull off a W. I mean, like, they played the Texans twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, come on,
They
guys.
play the AFC South all
Yeah,
season.
I mean, come on, guys. Come on.
Texans,
Have you seen the Colts lately? The Colts are not doing so hot.
They'll probably beat the Titans.
You know what? Honestly, yeah, I can see it.
Remember that and remind us if we get that call right.
That's right. That's right. We can put money on it, probably.
Okay, Tom, you've got a huge game this week.
Oh, yes, we do.
Is Tree coming to your house?
Maybe we'll see.
Is that hush hush?
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know, we'll see if we can put 2 and 2 together and see if we can make 4.
Oh, yeah. Steelers, Packers.
Dude,
I think this is an easy win for you guys, if I'm being honest.
So, like, again, this is like the 49ers game. You can't tell that to Packers fans because there's certain teams that we'll never feel comfortable about. Seahawks, 49ers are on there as well. And I would say arguably the Steelers are. Yes, we beat them in the Super Bowl, but if we pull up the record here, hold on one second.
Let's stats, the math.
Packers record. Okay. Let's take a look at these results here. The last 2 games, the Packers. Yeah. So this is why. So since 1998, these teams have played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And the Packers have lost 5 out of the 6 times. The only win was in the Super Bowl. It always, like, these games are usually really, really good. Like, you look at the finishes. 2017, it's a field goal, 31-28. It's a touchdown in 2013, 38-31, right? Like, even before that, 2009, 36-37. The Steelers usually play the Packers very, very well. And there's always like some crazy thing that happens at the end, like in which they just get the ball last and they wind up winning.
Right.
I think Ben Roethlisberger, as Tree put it this week, is a mannequin back there. So we don't have to worry about a mobile Ben Roethlisberger. The concern is TJ Watt going to play? If TJ Watt doesn't play, I feel a lot more confident in this team. And considering is Elton Jenkins going to play? Like, even though we did real well against the 49ers pass rush, there's still some concern there. You know, the wide receivers of the Steelers are good. They really haven't had like a blown up game yet. So like maybe this is the one. I hope not. But yeah, I'm like kind of nervous about this. And I was watching the game last night and everyone was like, I want the Jaguars to win just to make the Steelers look bad. And I was like, you know what? I respect that. I respect the hell out of that. Because if the Bengals then lost to the Jaguars and considering the Bengals whooped the Steelers, I was like, yeah.
I'm trying to look at the Steelers injury report. There's a lot of guys on there. TJ Watt did go through a full workout, so I bet he plays.
He's going to probably play.
I bet TJ Watt plays. TJ Watt's like a guy, too, who even if he plays and he's dealing with an injury, it probably doesn't affect him.
No. Like, he's still going to be a monster. Like, he's still going to be disruptive. Still got to give him, like, all those looks. You're still going to have to double him. You know, put Tunyon up there, though, because Tunyon, there was a couple times against Bosa where he just knocked him out his ass, and it was so great. And I was like, that's Roberto Grande for you.
That's why they call it Big Bob Tunyon.
That's it, baby. Big
Did you ever hear that Bob Tunyon song I tagged you in?
Yo, I did. Oh, I did. It was
okay, so you feel...
I feel cautiously optimistic.
Yes,
like,
that's the word.
That cautiously optimistic about it because, again, they have a good defense. I think that they... Thanks, Shane. I think...
He's already wearing the Rodgers Vikings jersey.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true. I will burn this. I want to say, like, they play up to their competition, too. Like, I don't think you're going to see the same Steelers team that showed up against the Bengals last week.
Yeah, maybe not. It's like, I think we're all having a hard time fully buying into the fact that the Steelers might just be bad. You know what I mean? Like, they've been good for so long.
Yeah.
Their biggest issue, besides like Ben getting really, really old and wanting to eat dinner at 4:30, is their offensive line. I don't think they really upgraded that this offseason. And I was one of the people dumb enough to take Najee Harris in fantasy because you think, oh, he's a really good running back. And I know this. I know, like, you can put a great running back, but if he's not playing behind a good offensive line, it's going to be hard. And beyond that, the Steelers refuse to commit to the freaking run.
That's true.
even when Ben's playing like shit. So, they just might be bad. If the Packers should beat them by like 2 scores.
Listen, if we hit Ben Roethlisberger and he bursts into dust, who's going to complain? And that's even for Steelers fans. Who's going to complain?
No, they're ready.
Watching that, and if he just gets Thanos right on the field, like after Rashawn Gary hits him, he'd be like, it's over.
Yeah.
It's finally over.
There's a big article this week about Rodgers going to the Steelers after this season.
Oh, good God.
Something I don't even want to think about, honestly.
Can you imagine, like, I know you don't want to, but someone brought this up in my chat. I want to say it was like earlier this week that just in spite of you, they go to the Raiders. Like Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers go to the Raiders. And I think that was retaliation because you made me wear this jersey all week to your fans.
Yeah.
So.
Rodgers, like, go Derek Carr. Have that MVP season.
Yeah.
Make it so the Raiders can't move on from you. That's what I'll say. Speaking of the Raiders, they got a big game this week against the Chargers. I said the Chargers, dude. Like you would say the Raiders. The Chargers! Because it's going to be a home game for the Raiders, which Derek Carr acknowledged. As we pointed out Wednesday, I think 74% of ticket sales, Raiders fans. Okay. I wanted to talk about this game because I'm watching both these teams. Right now, I'm going to give the Raiders credit for something they have not done well. Drafting. They got rookie corner, Nate Hobbs, playing some pretty damn good football for a rookie corner.
Yep.
I think I saw like he had the highest Pro Football Focus grade for rookie corners, just ahead of Patrick Surtain and Asante Samuel Jr. Asante Samuel Jr.
Do you know who's
Chargers corner.
Eric Stokes Go Fast is also up there. Well.
Eric Stokes, I think you guys hit on that pick. So Greg Newsome also playing well.
He is.
So like the corners are performing, and we thought this was a deep corner draft. Turns out, it looks like it's going to be true. But the Raiders nab Hobbs at a great value pick. The Raiders have had no concept of value while drafting over the last few years. They spin that pick on Cleveland Farrell, but they did take Max Crosby later in the draft, so they hit there. Their pass rush is better. Asante Samuel Jr., 2 picks on the season so far. Maybe he gets one against Carr. But also, the Chargers are getting healthy. Derwin James practicing.
Yep.
Bosa had the ankle thing, and he's still an injured Bosa last week against the Chiefs. I think he had 10 QB pressures still. So the Chargers might be able to get after the quarterback a little bit here. Brady retires and Rodgers takes his place. Oh, whoa.
You know what? I'll be very honest with you. If this is going to sound blasphemous, if Aaron Rodgers went to the Patriots instead of the Buccaneers, I wouldn't hate it.
Dude, if that happens, you and I have to get on the Patriots bandwagon and just commit.
I wouldn't hate it at all. Like because I just want to see what they could do together. Like that would just be pure curiosity and just be like, and they're in the AFC. We don't play them very often. Like
Rodgers would do that too. Rodgers would do that. Oh, because he thinks he could win there, but also to fuck you, Tom Brady.
Can you imagine? Like, I just think of like Mac Jones or Carr, like sitting there and just be like, oh yeah, we had a pretty good season. Get out. Just get out.
They would trade Mac Jones somewhere.
They wouldn't even care. Like,
second round.
Like, no, I'm good. Thank you. It's okay. And then, or no, they trade him to the Packers, and Jordan Love's like, are you freaking kidding me?
Okay.
I love it.
Chargers Raiders.
Yeah.
I'm predicting a Chargers win here. I think they're going to do it despite the crowd noise they'll be dealing with in their home stadium.
Yep.
But the Chargers, they have some flaws. One,
they do.
Well, it's both running. They can't run the ball, and they can't stop the run. They've given up more rushing yards than any team in the NFL right now, ahead of the Chiefs even. So there are weaknesses in the AFC West on defense.
Yeah.
And they're allowing 5.8 yards per carry. So the Raiders may get Josh Jacobs back. It was looking better. I think he's questionable now. Like Gruden's not letting on whether he's going to play or not. The Raiders are not running the ball well, but this would be the day for the Raiders to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But since the Raiders were number 1 in my power rankings, even though I think the Chargers will win, I have to pick the Raiders to win this game.
Well, that's the thing. We talked about this yesterday. Whose curse is stronger? Is it Tree or is it yours? Yours has, I think, some credibility because we've seen the results.
Yeah.
It's just a matter if the Chargers win, then like it's full blown. But
I think the Panthers are fucked because
they're dead now.
I cursed them, and then Brett Coleman dropped a video about how good their defense is this week.
Oh
And
no.
Brett Coleman has been known to throw out some curses.
Oh no.
So I'm sorry, Carol, but maybe the double curse cancels.
It's a double negative, so
Yes,
it's a
man.
positive. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I got to pick the Raiders to win this one.
Like two
Top
neutrons.
of the AFC West. Raiders will be in first place at the end of this week.
Dude, if the Raiders are in first place, I'm telling you, the West reaction is going to be it's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. Now, real quick, some other good games. You got some NFC West. They're all playing each other.
Ooh,
It's going to be great. You got the
Big week.
Seahawks 49ers. Speaking of terrible defenses, good God, the Seahawks defense is garbage. Garbage.
That's another great coach QB example to think about.
But their defense is trash. It's not good. And they think like, oh, well, it'll be okay now. Nope, it's not good. That's bad. 49ers, though, their defense is not looking that great. Like, their defense is not looking that bad. I actually picked, even though it's in Santa Clara, I actually picked the Seahawks to win this game because I believe in their offense more than I do in Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, I think Russell Wilson could put up more points against that defense, and like Jimmy Garoppolo will make like a mistake, even though he played, mistake-free football except for the intentional grounding that wasn't called. I think I picked the Seahawks here. But honestly, those games are always fun. Like, those games are always really, really good. The Seahawks 49ers, they hate each other. They always play each other incredibly tough. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with that in that I think the Seahawks can score points at will. They just they die. They just the offense disappears for a quarter or whatever every game. I don't know why. Maybe they're too predictable, but I think the 49ers will win that game. And then the Cardinals-Rams.
Oh, baby.
I think we're going to finally see the Cardinals exposed a little bit. They've already shown flaws.
Yeah.
They're like the Seahawks, and they can score a shit ton of points, but I don't trust that defense consistently.
Yep.
And the Rams, just a more complete team, better coached team.
Yep.
I think that's a real advantage here. And Matthew Stafford is basically playing the same type of football Tom Brady got to play in New England, where he drops back and he just looks for the guy who has 10 yards of separation, whether that's Cooper Kupp now or Sean Jackson. Then you've got reliable Robert Woods and Van Jefferson out there for
Van Jefferson. I like Van Jefferson coming out of college so much.
So yeah, I like the Rams, and I think the Cardinals the Cardinals bandwagon going to get a little less full after this.
See, I disagree. I actually disagree with that last statement there. I disagree with that last statement because Grandpa Cardinal is going to elevate it just like Wildflower did, just like Springsteen did. I'm just telling you that the Grossi effect is real. Brandon Perna. It's okay. It's real. That's what. Listen, we had 3,000 people in a stream because a kitty goes meow last night. I'm just saying.
That's pretty good.
I'm just saying.
Double what this stream has right now.
Accurate. But I do think I do have the Cardinals losing that game because I feel like they're almost, I'm going to make this comparison, but like they're kind of like the Chiefs right now. And what I mean by that is like if they play mistake-free football, they have a really good chance of winning. Because their offense is that good. If Kyler Murray's not throwing picks, if they're not kicking 68-yard field goals and missing it, if they're doing these things, they can win. I think it's going to be really difficult to not make any mistakes against a very good Rams defense. And because of that, I think you just give it to the Rams. Kyler Murray as seen, can put up a ton of points, has some bad decisions though this season so far. But yeah, I do have the Rams winning though.
We haven't heard anything from is JJ Watt.
Nope.
Like we've talked about the Cardinals, but nobody's talking about JJ Watt. So I think if there's like a difference maker in this game, It's like JJ got to have a big game. Also, DeAndre Hopkins was on the injury report this week. I believe he's been cleared. He's going to play. Cardinals need that to happen. They've got a lot of good ball catchers too.
They do. No, they like Christian Kirk has been crushing it this
Rondale
season.
Moore, like they got guys.
Yup.
I
think that. Yeah. I think it's what it's going to come down to is like if the Cardinals can play mistake-free football, it's a very close game. I don't know if they can. Like you look at the first week, like they crushed, right? And they looked amazing. And you talk about JJ Watt, he was used on the offense, right? And like they were used to like get Kyler Murray able to run into the end zone. He was able to clear up a whole bunch of guys. So like Chandler Jones can be really good. Like that's what JJ's there for. He's basically there to be like, hey, let me like take some of this heat. Like, let me take some of this pressure, like the blocks, etc. And so other guys can go and wreak havoc because, you know, JJ Watt's a little bit older now and I love JJ Watt, but
that's why he's in Arizona.
That's why he's in Arizona. That's it.
It's the transition.
Lamar Jackson back in practice, by the way.
Oh, good.
That was a good recovery. That was a really, really good recovery.
I hope he runs so fast today.
Lamar Jackson go fast?
Yeah, he has that same issue last week. So I was expecting him to play, but 2 days not practicing. Usually they give him that 1 day of rest and then they're limited and then they're fine. But let's just say Lamar going to have a hard time running against that second best run defense in the NFL right now. Or first best, I forget. Second best. Panthers number 1.
I will say, but right now I think it's like 8.6 points per game right now. Like the Broncos, they're number 1. It's crazy.
I think the spread on this game is the Broncos are favored by 1. So
really
1 at home, which means nothing. But you know, it's going to be close. We're going to find out about both teams. I think the Broncos are better than they're getting credit for, and I don't think the Ravens are as good as they're getting credit for.
Okay.
I saw them
beat the Chiefs.
Need an extra couple seconds to beat the Lions. I saw that.
I see you.
Justin Tucker's going to miss a kick in this game.
He missed a kick in the last game too, though.
I know. I was starting to think
how many
about,
drops is Hollywood Brown going to have? That's going to be the determination there because they could have blown out the Lions, but Hollywood's
going to play great. I feel like after
he's going to crush it. Well,
we did it.
We did it, folks. Another week of GPS. We'll be back here on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Try days a week.
Recap.
Sorry, there's planes flying over my house. It's so loud I could barely hear you.
So what I was saying was, we'll break down because I'll be up super late. I'll be up till about 3 a.m. on going into Monday because we got the Packers game we're gonna be streaming. Then we're gonna be doing, of course, the Brady game. We'll talk all about that. We'll have hotter takes than ESPN. You know, we'll crush them on that. We'll recap all the week 4 madness and then highlight the Monday Night Football game, which is very important to one Mr. Brandon Perna and for reaction purposes. But
yes.
Will the Broncos get the credit this week?
No, because the Raiders are the best team I've ever seen.